the low-wing monoplanes before I flew the Spitfire, but I know of no low-wing monoplane that would give you the feeling of complete confidence and response to controls under any conditions of flight. With the Spitfire, it didn't matter what conditions you flew the aircraft, what sort of loading, what sort of speed, and quite frankly, the harmony and the response was one that, well, I've never ceased to marvel about. It was a pilot's aircraft, so anyone that flew it would immediately fall in love with it. There's no question about that. It was also loved by the people at the time of the Battle of Britain because of its tremendous success. But not only was it successful in shooting down aircraft, I think it's possibly the only aircraft in the history of warfare that had a tremendous psychological effect on the young pilots of the enemy Air Force.
The Spitfire holds an enduring place in the heart of the nation, a symbol of defiance and hope for Britain in the dark days of 1940.
Their homes were being blitzed. They had their personal worries with their family. They may have had brothers or fathers or sons or relatives in the forces. That they themselves, after their job, they may have been in the St. John's Ambulance Brigade, they may have been fire watching, they may have been the Home Guard, 1,001 things, and to say nothing of the problem of getting backwards and forwards from work. And I think they were a splendid bunch of people. And I would have thought, as Churchill said, this was the British nation at its best. And this was their finest hour.
Hi, this is Turkey. I hope you enjoyed the introduction. I really like listening to the experiences of the pilots that actually flew these planes in real life. Now today we're going to look at the Mark IIA, which is one of the earlier Spitfires. First of all, we'll have a look at where it sits in the tree and how to research it. It really won't take you very long to get this plane. It's here, so it's down the Gladiator chain. It's worth getting, in my opinion. This plane's worth getting. Now, let's have a look at what it's actually got armour-wise. We've got a headrest plate, 6mm. We've got a back plate, 7mm. A plated seat, which is 4mm, and then we've got some bulletproof glass. No extra plating in the cowling or anything like that for the engine. Head-ons, not so much in this plane. I wouldn't recommend it. Have a look at an X-ray image, see where everything's contained. So we've got the Brownings, the 7.7 Browning machine guns, 4 in each wing, 8 in total. That's where it gets its 1.33 kilogram per second burst mass. Fuel tanks, only in the fuselage, so your wings aren't going to be set on fire. There is, however, oil cooling system and liquid cooling system in the wings. Not that those matter so much in arcade. Without further ado, let's take this plane into a test. Put it through its paces. All right, I will see you there. Okay, so here we are in a test flight. Got it up to around the 2.8 meters, 2,800 meters, give or take. When it got to about 300, well, the first thing we're going to do is go full WEP put it in a 45-degree climb. I'm pretty sure that's approximately where the plane spawns in, on most maps anyway. It's an approximation, it's not an exact science. Let's see how close it gets. So for the P-47, got to above 4,000 before it started to die, with a faster start, before it started to drop. But this plane's climb is pretty crazy. In fact, if anything, it's going to fall backwards. Is the web going to kick back in? It is. And it starts to climb again. That's a bit nuts. So off your first web cycle, let's have a look at how this is keeping up. Is it? It's an exceptionally good climbing plane. Exceptionally good for its tier and its battle rating. I'd say it's one of the best, if not the best. In fact, why am I saying this? It's comfortably the best climbing plane for its battle rating especially. Okay, so let's test its ability at about 4,000. I think was when we started the P-47 in a 90-degree roll. So we'll just get down, drop off. We're going to be about 300. So we're going to go 90 degrees, and we're going to see if it can catch its own smoke trail. So let's turn the plane over, and around we go. We'll hit the web, and it easily catches its own smoke trail. It's losing much speed, not particularly. Comfortably catches its own smoke trail. This is an exceptionally good turning plane, even when used in 90-degree turns, which I wouldn't recommend doing. It's bleeding a bit of speed, not a ridiculous amount. It is slowing down though. Let's hit the flaps and see what that does. It only has landing flaps, no combat flaps. That makes it turn even tighter, and it's still not losing an incredible amount of speed. And this is at 4,000 meters. Definitely a turn fighting plane and an excellent climbing plane. Okay, let's take it back up, and we're going to about 4,003, 4,003 and a half. We're going to drop it back down into a dive, see what speed it gets up to. We're going to turn on the way down and see at which point it locks up. Oh, it's starting to lock up already. That was about 500. At 600, it's barely rolling at all. What speed are we going to get it up to? We're going to break 800. We are going to break. Nope, not quite. Okay, so straight back up. And let's see how much of that we can regain. It was about 4.3 that we left it at. Let's see what we can do on the way back up. Bit of a funky angle with the camera. Let's take it all the way up. And then we're going to hammerhead it over to see how well it does that. So we gained about 2.6. It responds very nicely when you hammerhead it over. And down we go again. We'll do some manoeuvring at the bottom of this dive, and then we'll do, let's just show off that lock up from the roll again. Yeah, it's about 500 it starts locking up. We'll go down, and then we'll take it straight into a turn again. Oh, it doesn't like that as much. But once it starts turning, oh, overloading G's. Once it starts turning, I'm pretty confident it's going to be easily inside its smoke trail. Wow, it's really quite hard to control it. Oh, wrong way. It's an exceptionally good turning plane. It's probably the best turning plane in the game, short of the biplanes. Maybe some of the L16s would do better. Well, that gives you some indication anyway of what this plane can do. Oh, one more thing, I almost forgot. The climbing spiral. We'll see how it likes that. We'll get back up to 300 and we'll try the climbing spiral and see how well it likes it. Okay, Let's go around into a climbing spiral. It's almost hard to control. Look how tight the climbing spiral is. Doesn't want it. Just keeps on going. It wants to climb more than it wants to turn, but the rudder and the elevator on this plane is exceptionally good. We'll throw on flaps in a minute, see if that makes a difference. It almost ran out of energy, but it keeps on going. Keeps on going. Look how tight that climbing spiral is. I'm trying to get a better view from up top, but it's quite hard to control. You can see how tight it is. Just keeps on going. This plane just wants to climb. It's although the dive didn't really represent it particularly well, it's an exceptionally good energy retaining plane. More so because it climbs at such a low speed, rather than retains its energy exceptionally well. It retains its energy brilliantly. Anyway, let's dive out again just to finish off, and I will see you when we take it out into a arcade game, and we'll see how it performs in combat. Anyway, see you in a moment.